Big up, welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. Get readjusted here. Hopefully, we're not going to echo because they got this new thing on StreamYard where you can broadcast towards people that are watching this on their laptops or desktops, and it's also got it where you can broadcast it to those watching it on your phone, and you can see both at the same time. It's kind of weird, so it's going to get a little bit of a moment of adjusting towards. But look, we are back. There's no hiding. There's no hiding. There's no being scared at all. As I like to say, if you're scared, get a dog. And we're back to handle the conversation, back to address the needs of what a lot of us are looking for, which is trying to create some answers, try to create some solutions for some of these important topics that are necessary to be addressed. Today we've got JK with us. He's going to be with us for the first half of the show. I think we'll also have Lee shortly as well. Big up, JK. How are you?
I'm okay, bro. I'm okay.
Yeah. I get it.
That's what the result did to me yesterday.
Exactly why I get it. But definitely welcome back, everyone that's joining us. Welcome back if you are watching this on the replay as well, at a more convenient hour for you. Welcome back to all of my Reds out there. And that's the key part. My Reds. Take a breath with me if you can. Breathe in, breathe out. You can say woosah or namaste or, whatever you have to do to try to get that ease of just getting centered and getting controlled with maybe frustrations or anger that's bubbling up. Because today's one of those episodes. Certainly one of those episodes. This isn't anger for clicks. It's not that at all. And let me make sure. Let me take my camera out of here and bring it to hopefully it's at a good angle. Whoops. Not at a good angle, but let's get my camera set. All right. But this isn't anger for clicks or drama because I've seen a lot of that already on the internet, through different creators out there. But this is emotional, and it should be. And I understand it being so because a lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are upset. A lot of people are frustrated, I think is the best word for it. And rightfully so, because what we saw yesterday, at least, focuses us to confront something that we've all been trying to avoid. And just lose. Liverpool were outplayed, outplanned, out-executed. Manchester City 3, Liverpool 0. And that scoreline doesn't flatter City. It possibly, unfortunately, and undeniably could say it exposes us. We came into this game of hope, and I call it genuine hope. Some were already thinking that we're going to lose this game. I call it genuine hope because we had some hope from the Villa performance, had some hope from the Real Madrid performance. It started to seem like that conception of it meaning something or this meaning more starting to resonate.
Are you ready?
And there were signs of Liverpool had hope still left in the tank. We were climbing, maybe rising, reclaiming something. Instead, we were given the cold reminder that we have work to do. We are not there yet. In processing of this team. So today is not about panic. It's not about quitting. It's about honesty. Because if we don't face the truth, we won't fix anything. So let's get into it. Like I said, we have JK, and we also did have for a second Lee. I think Lee will be hopefully logging back in. But let's get into it real quick. Liverpool were blown away Pep Guardiola celebrated his 1,000th match as a manager yesterday, and we handed him a gift. I believe we came with a wrapped gift for Pep. Played right in, wrap tag, delivered right for Pep. City didn't just beat us; they defined the terms of the match. We didn't dictate tempo. We didn't dictate spacing. We didn't dictate rhythm. We got outrun in the midfield. We got out fought in the wide areas. We got out muscled in transitions. I'm going to have an episode specifically tomorrow, if not later on today, about that. We got isolated in attacks. We looked panicked in defense. City aren't the finished product. Let's not get it twisted. I know there are people out there that have an issue or a problem, or not issue or problem, but they have issues or problems, I should say, yes, with our team. I get that. But yesterday, City aren't the City that we knew. We might have made them look like they were, but City aren't the team that they used to be. And the problem is we are still under construction. And today exposed every loose beam, unstable joint in our structure. This match was billed as the game that would tell us whether Liverpool are in the title race, whether we're ready to go for this which would have been a really, really concerted attempt at sustaining a title race. But this match was billed as that. And the verdict, as painful as it is, and as clear as it has to be, at the moment, we are not in that race. Not like this, not right now. And unfortunately, it makes us have to ask these questions. So he's with us now. He's got his camera on. So people, best beware.
It's blinking. It's blinking though. It's like going green, and it's just like this. I can't see it on my phone. Looking on my phone, it's not doing it. But here in front of me, it's like blinking, like fuck green, and there's two screen. There's one screen, and then there's like a third of a screen as well, like small.
Yeah, it ain't full screen on YouTube, bro.
What's that?
12. No, 12. It ain't full screen on YouTube.
Okay, let me see what's going on. Let me see if I can do this then. I don't know how it is. Is it better now or something?
I just gotta wait a second. Because on here, on StreamYard, it's sound. I'm just waiting for the big screen. Wait a second. They've
done something different with StreamYard. They basically, they say they call it their Mars project or something, where like now there's I can see two streams, and I can see what people would be seeing if they're using their phone, and I can see what people would be seeing if you're looking on your desktop.
Yeah, and the one on the screen right now is the one if you're looking at on the phone. Okay, that's on YouTube, on the normal desktop sort of YouTube.
It ain't showing me chat on my phone. It's just got like the full screen is like this picture, but there's no chat. But there is a chat box for me to type something in, but I can't see other people's. I can't see the chat box. If you don't understand, I've never seen that before. Let me see.
Okay. All right.
We'll work out.
Yeah, we'll work it out, people. We'll work it out. I'm going to try my best to try to, figure out a way to hopefully work it out on the fly here. Let's see.
I've got the chat sorted now.
Okay. Yeah, for right now, I'll have to just deal with what it is, because it's not letting me do it on the fly here. Hopefully it's okay for you guys. If you're seeing us in a weird landscape perspective, right, that I apologize.
Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right now, bro.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It looks good. Yeah.
I'm going to ask you guys this. Do you think this loss was tactical, or was this loss more psychological? Was this like just a beat a team? Which one was it for you, JK?
it was psychological, bro, because when you look at football, a lot of people, like Leicester won the league, not because they had the best players, it's because they had that mental side of the game that you need to win the league, you know what I mean? And the displays against Villa and Madrid, we had that mental side to the game in us with McAllister, Robertson and everyone. And what happened yesterday, we didn't have that, hence we got battered. And it's as simple as that, bro. Every game, look at all our games we away from home this season. We've had that wimpish mindset. We've allowed Casado on his own beat us, you know. Yesterday, their midfield, not a great midfield like Bernardo Silva, Foden, not playing their best form, you know what I mean? And that lad who scored their second goal, he ain't scored all season, bro.
Oh,
and he scored yesterday. And it was the mental side of the game again yesterday, bro. We allowed them to bully us. And we never had that under Klopp, where a team would come and do that to us, really. But it's happened too many times now. The Chelsea game was a big wake-up call for me, how Casado on his own destroyed us, bro. Come on, man. What was said? What was said before the game, you know? What was said to the players? We're away at Man City. How are we going into this game? Anfield, Slot ain't really got a problem playing at Anfield. He's pretty good at home, you know? But this away form, bro, is really taking us out of the title race already, sort of.
Yep.
That's poor, man.
Yep.
For me, 12, it was a mixture of tactics and like sort of psychology, the players' minds. But the players' minds weren't there because the tactics weren't good enough. I mean, let's, for instance, take the way Haaland moved on to Van Dijk and he just made Canate have the ball. That was a very simple thing, tactic, if you want to put it in tactic. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was very effective. We had no answer to it. He tried a few things, but there were no answer to what Guardiola had done or what he was doing. I felt for him a bit in the sense that like there was nothing he could do to counter it. But this happens. Sometimes they are a quality team. Let's not forget, even without Rodri, they've still got a lot of good players, mate. They are a quality team. It was just disappointing the manner of the defeat. The manner of the defeat was worse than the defeat itself. I don't necessarily mean the scoreline. I mean just the way we played, the way we looked. It was hard to see that many positives. I will though, you know. I'm not going to go all the way on this like some people are. You know, shit the bed too early, like over Slot. The man's still got time for me, but he's up against it now. Like he's got to show some nifty footwork, like to get us back on track this season. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Like what happens now? Absolutely. But he'll run out of time quickly. Like if he carries on losing important games, which I never thought I'd be saying at this point of the season after winning the league and then having that really good window where everyone bar Gahey that we wanted walked in the door. There's no way I would have thought, after a few months, Slot could be under pressure, but it's come to pass, and that's just football for you. How quickly it changes.
Bless up, Bread Armchair in the chat.
Yeah,
I like his comment. Les Batterby.
Big up to Rep for Life. Emmy, big up to Red Armchair supporter. Big up to all those in the chat that said hello. Dustin for sure, man. Like Dustin, the self.
Darwin's energy, yeah. What Darwin did. Even though he's not everyone's cup of tea, he unsettled defenses. And when you unsettle a defense, the other team get weaker. So sometimes you don't have to be the best player in the world to get a job done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think football fans overcomplicate football now.
I agree with that.
I agree. Hence why now you're seeing Liverpool fans really like, look, we should have won yesterday before the game kicked off. If we win yesterday, right now, all of us would be, can't wait for Forest. So, and that's the difference of one game now. That's where we're at right now. And that's a bit embarrassing thinking about this guy just won us the league and we just spent a lot of money and we were already talking like this. It's pretty bad, bro.
I agree. There's, go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
I was going to say, as far as the January window goes, it'd be soft of us not to invest more in the centre-back area, or if possible, if we could have a DM who'd be available at that time. But to back up what they've just done, what the main thing they've done in the summer, just, you know, to put it right, like the balance of the squad. And I think we could probably pick up a couple of centre-backs for reasonable fees who would have a good chance of working out. Players like Ordonez or whatever. And yeah, it's January and clubs don't want to sell in January, but if the offer's too much for them to knock back, which it often is with clubs like that, because we've been buying them from, you know, lesser clubs like that don't get many big offers.
Right.
It just needs sorting in January. We've got when we come back, it's the 22nd of November, and then we've got to get till January, so it's like 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks until we can spend. But we've got to in January. There has to be at least one centre back. At the very least, we have to have one centre back.
No, and I get that concern. I get that concern. And why I'm saying I get that concern is because these are things that we all pointed out in the beginning of the season. A lot of these points, at least, are things that we point out in the beginning of the season. And I guess we all definitely got a little masked into the understanding, or at least not understanding, but more of, we got masked into the bountiful gifts that we got. And when it comes to transfers, that kind of, you know, took our eyes off of the real focus of where and what were important pieces of the puzzle to basically fortify, and we didn't. But there's 2 points too. You did mention something about the tactics being about you know, the way that City focused on VVD, but when it came to trying to force the ball into Konate, that's another episode that is going to be on the other episode that I spoke of earlier. That there's some points, by the way, some things I'm going to address, because I know that there are some people out there that have been trying to necessarily defend or defend certain things about the team. I can see something. My alerts are going off. But what I was going to say is there is something I was going to ask you, and I have a little segment I'm going to call "What was the worst part of yesterday for you?" Like, this is your venting, Eric. This is your opportunity to vent, and I'm going to allow for you to do so. So, what was the worst part of yesterday for you?
For me, it was the third goal, because that was the point where I gave up, stopped watching, and went round the shop and bought a bottle of vodka.
It was the third goal, bro. He just turned it all off, wasn't it? It was, bro. It was the third goal. But saying that, no. For me, it was the second goal. You know why? Half time was a couple of minutes away. I thought, okay, go in 1-0 down. Hopefully, Slot kicks their ass, and we'll come back. And what happened? That second goal destroyed that team talk at half time. And that was, for me, the most important part of the game yesterday. And the thing was, it was a deflected goal. And the first goal, Konate should have got his head onto that before Haaland got it. So them 2 goals were dodgy.
Right. I thought both their first goals were fortunate. It looked like a brilliant header, you know, before you saw the replay, Haaland's goal. When you saw it, you know, from the long angle and the cross went, and you seen the way it went in, you thought, what a lovely stunned header. And then you seen it, and it weren't that, was it? Like, there was a large element of fortune.
Yeah, it sort of hit him in the face and went in.
You could see, I thought you could see in his once I'd seen that, like, and then I looked back at the celebrations, I thought you can tell he knows there that it's just hit him in the mush and went in. But then the second goal, they were both bloody awful, both goals. Konate, for me, set the tone early on, messing up, so we give that pen away. That wasn't on Mamardashvili. People say, oh, you give it away, but it was because of what Konate done. Conor Bradley had that situation complete and totally in control. Like, you know, he could either have let the ball roll out, or he could have just turned on it and hit it up the pitch, whatever he had. Konate comes over for some weird reason, does some weird thing, and then the next thing you know, it's a penalty. And I thought from that moment onward, we never got back into it. They used that as a spare. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it all come from that one balls up.
There you go, bro. That's what happens in games. One little dodgy incident like that sets the tone early on. Hence why, for me, when you're playing away at big teams, sometimes it's better to attack than defend. I've always said that. Give them something, like, because normally when you're at home, the fans are thinking we're attacking first. But for me, it's better when you, as an away team, attack them, especially Man City. And what happens? We end up, that first half was terrible. Probably one of the worst starts we've had all season. And it set the tone for the whole game, man. Attacking-wise, we didn't do nothing as well. So, as soon as Doku got the ball, Doku's not the greatest player in the world, bro. I've seen him in a lot of games. He don't really do nothing, but what he does do, like Diaz, he keeps hold of the ball. You know, so he's not going to give the opposition the ball to do damage against you. So when he's got the ball, the rest of the team are just waiting for it. And that's what happened yesterday, bro.
He's a player that when he's good, he is really good, but that doesn't happen that often. But he was very good yesterday. And I didn't think Connor was particularly bad against him. It was just like Doku was really on it. And they were all over us anyway in fucking midfield. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, 2 midgets and that Gonzalez lad. Done us.
Yeah. Well, when I seen their team before it kicked off, I thought, yeah, it's no Rodri. We've got a chance here, maybe. It just didn't work out like that.
The thing is, Foden and Silva weren't great in the game as well. Like, but we got done. I just don't understand how you beating a Real Madrid team like that, 1-0, and then doing that against Man City. I just don't understand the mental side. That's why when 12 asked that question, it was the mental side of the game we didn't get right yesterday.
Let's not forget what a good team they are, though. How many good players they've got and how good a manager they've got. Yes, we've been laughing at Dirty Mars, like, you know, since these are dropped off. But they're still a very good team, a very good squad, shall I say, with a very good manager. And we were at their ground where we never, ever win, apart from once, which was last year. I mean, I had a little bit of hope that we could repeat it. It wasn't much hope, like, but maybe if maybe if the disallowed goal from the corner was a winning, something could have happened. But even
what did you think of that goal?
Oh, mate, that's crime of the century for me. That, I mean, what? It took him ages. It took him like way too long. And then when I seen his flag go up, like, I was so I could tell you. And I just wanted Slot to run up the touchline, grab him round the throat and choke him until he was unconscious. But Slot would have got like about a 6-month ban from the touchline for doing that.
Because the thing is, I've seen goals given like that this season. I've seen it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Save some of that energy, because I do have a segment for that specific goal, at least. That was
big up JP in the chat as well.
Shout out to JP for sure, always. I wanted to know what it was, though. What was the worst part of it for yesterday for you? Because honestly, for me, it was. I think for me, it was. You know, how can I put this without like maybe upsetting some people? But it was the fact that we are so easily bullied, I think, on the pitch, both on and off the ball, and that's becoming a theme for me. And it's an uncomfortable theme that you know, you would not have seen or not expected from a Liverpool team, because just days ago this same Liverpool side showed the fight, the bite, the intensity, everything that we are all expectant to see every single match. But at the Etihad, it felt like we had the names on the shirts, but not the players who embodied that before that. And that's what cuts deep. As supporters, we can accept losing to the better team. That is something that, you know, I'm not the best loser. I'll admit that. I am not a good loser. But it's something that you can't let define you completely. And City were better. That's fine. That's football. But what you cannot forget is the lack of intensity, the lack of intent, the lack of fight. And we are saying that far too often. And yes, a word about the disallowed goal, like as I just spoken on, it didn't decide the match. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go as far as to say it was like we lost because it was that goal was 1-0 and that's the reason why we lost or something like that, or it wasn't that kind of a deciding goal. But the linesman raising his flag there, I think it was like something like 15, 30 seconds, something like that, something ridiculous. Late is outrageous. That meant that the referee had to actually put thought and time into thinking, like, am I going to raise this or am I not? Should I? No. Like, those thoughts actually went through the process. Doku was impacting the keeper. I think Doku was impacting our keeper more than Robbo was, to be honest with you. The inconsistency is what frustrates people, and that should. Beginning, that's not the reason we lost. I'm not saying that's the reason we lost. The real problem was, and this is at least my opinion, again, was that we looked disjointed. We looked like we returned to the disjointed Liverpool that all of us have been clamoring about, saying we need to fix up. We had just reverted back to something close to the title-winning core in the matches against Villa and Real. And then we saw flashes of identity. We saw the team play with rhythm and confidence. So naturally, we expected more. Okay. Maybe that's just, some of us having standards. But yet again, City at least, we look like strangers. I understand going to the Etihad is one of the hardest fixtures in Europe. For us especially. We've only had one win out of the last decade or so. But the record speaks for itself. 2 league wins there in a decade. Yes. But the most important league win was set up for us to have yesterday. Even that acknowledged, it was painful to watch City bypass our midfield with such ease. I think that's important. Just days earlier, Gravenberch, McAllister, Dom, the original Fab 3, handled Real Madrid's midfield beautifully. They controlled, they pressed, they connected. And yet in this match, it looked like they couldn't grab hold of the game at all. So the worst part for me, it's not just losing, obviously. It's the contrast between those 2 games before this and this one. It's the contrast that the inconsistency in this team is something that needs to be addressed. We know this team can fight, but we don't see it when it matters. And that was the most frustrating thing for me. And that's why this one hurts. That's why. So I'm going to get into this. So they were talking about the goal, and that's important. Let's talk about that moment, please. The turning point in I think was just that. We had a great save by Marmardashvili against a penalty kick. They had their goal that they got, which was poor defense, I think, by us, but still all the same. They got their goal that put them up 1-0, all the same. And then the emotional fracture that we had to come up from. Virgil rises, thunders in the header, and it's almost like we're at home in Anfield at that moment. That's how much energy and electricity was flowing through us. And then the delayed flag, consultation, VAR does their theater, I guess you could call it, because I don't want to go down the conspiracy route, but I do think that there is a little bit of conspiracy in VAR this year, just VAR period, because I don't want to say this year, because we've had VAR conspiracies before. The goal gets disallowed. Andy Robinson back to the goal, ducks to avoid interfering. Donnarumma has a clear sight line, by the way. No contact, no obstruction, no interference. So explain to all of us, maybe, how that is offsides. Arne Slot said it plainly. Obvious and clear, the wrong decision has been made. Virgil said the officials are deciding the key moments. They're writing the script. And that is the part that burns. Because if that goal stands, the game changes. The psychology that we just spoke on changes. The narrative changes. But instead, we get interpretation by Michael Oliver, who is, I think, one of the worst referees in the league, period. We get another interpretation from PGMOL rewriting constitutes of the laws or the rules for us to cover so that they can cover their mistakes, despite the fact that they've allowed for it to be played that way before, but now all of a sudden it's not that way now.
It was such a sweetly worked corner. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty, the whole thing. And then, like, you know, we celebrated it for a while, and then I seen Virgil look over, and I thought, nah, that he's just looking over for some other reason. And then I seen the linesman with his flag, and I was just screaming, no, at the telly, like, you know. But I just knew I had that sinking feeling from the moment I seen him get the ref's attention that they were going to screw us. Mm-hmm. I don't see how like how they haven't looked at that from loads of angles, because they took ages, and you know it was just irrefutably true that he wasn't in his eye line. He did not influence the. You know, he has a clear sight of where the header was coming from, where it was going to. There was no one in his way. He made his dive. He didn't make it, and the game could have been so much different. It's all ifs, buts, and maybes now. Like, but scoring that goal, it could have bounced us on to better things in the second half and 3 points potentially. But we were denied the chance to find out, weren't we, how the game would go if it became level. It was just a rubbish decision. The pen was harsh as well. I felt like, because, you know, he didn't even touch him with his foot or anything, like, and then the two bits of luck for their goals. But we were up against it with the officials yesterday. You know, I'm not a paranoid man in that sense, but it just looked like they weren't going to give us anything of note, of worth yesterday. You know, no big decisions were going to go our way yesterday, and they didn't. But we were still shit as well. Like, it's no excuse. But the two things together just made it an awful afternoon. That's why I couldn't take no more after Doku's goal went in. I just pissed off around the shop and bought a bottle of vodka.
Seeing driving to the drink, that's not good. That's not good. JK, what were your thoughts? Maybe JK's, I think.
Yeah, for me, it was the second goal, bro. As soon as that went in, just before half-time, that was the problem. If we went in 1-0 down, half-time, team thought maybe different game. But that and the disallowed goal, bro, them two things just destroy the game for us.
Okay. I think that with the Virgil goal, I think it's obvious that it should have stood. And this is why I called out Michael Oliver, who was on VAR that day. I personally, and again, I'll probably have the same, you'll probably hear me repeat this in my other episode that I spoke of that I have slated to do for later on. But I'm gonna say this pretty loud and clear. I think that Michael Oliver should not be able to referee Manchester City games, and I especially think he shouldn't do City games. I don't think he should do our games, but I also don't think he should officiate City games at all, ever again. And why is because you have a referee that was paid by the owners of Manchester City to go get a private jet to Saudi Arabia or to the Middle East and officiate games there. Mm. And therefore, they become his employers.
Well, Oliver is known for being a greedy boy. If you've ever seen the film Oliver, never before as a boy wanted more. Oliver, never before as a boy wanted more.
I was going to take that route, but okay.
A bit of Oliver Twist for you there.
Yeah,
but he is
Twist. A well-read man. That's what we have in Lee. Well-read man. Yeah, it was for me just simply the fact that you take that into account, and then you also take into account Manchester City versus Wolves had a very similar, if not worse, situation occur with their rat of a captain, Bernardo Silva, okay, interfering in my viewpoint, possibly with the goalkeeper for Wolves. However, it was ruled goal stands for Manchester City. Now, why I'm talking about Michael Oliver, why I'm talking about all these different things about the VAR, is that it's so interesting that so often, whether it's the handball from by Rodri, I believe it was, right? Whether it's that ruling I just spoke of earlier, why it's so incredibly interesting that Manchester City seemingly seems to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to some of these rulings. Now, I'm not trying to say this is a black Liverpool hat. It's not a tin hat, so let's not go down that route. But you have to absolutely call into question how is that the case?
It's not exactly too fanciful a notion to imagine that a lot of these refs have had holidays to Dubai, haven't they? They just seem more than any other club in the modern era to have got the rub of the green more than everybody else. And it turns out, they're the ones with all the green. It stinks, doesn't it? They stink as a club. The footballing authorities have been pathetic in not doing nothing against them still now. The way that UEFA done them and then took it back when their lawyers threatened them, I was like, it's just another nail in the coffin of football. If it carries on like this, I don't know if I'll be watching it in 5 years' time. If it carries on as silly as this, where you can just do anything and get away with it, because it ain't fair. You know what I mean? Other teams need a chance as well. But anyway, they're just a horrible club, aren't they, Man City? I mean, they were a nice club. I used to like them because they were United's rivals, and it pissed United off if they beat them. But then when we become rivals with them, and I got the internet and found out that a lot of their fan base are dickheads. I hate them now. I don't like them at all. There's something really fishy about the whole thing. I'm talking about in this country as well with our footballing authorities. The length of time it's took them. I mean, no, it's complete fucking bollocks, isn't it? Stinks to high heaven, the whole thing. So.
It's just very. You have to definitely call it out for what it is. The PGMOL has some credibility issues that they have to work out, and Premier League has allowed for City to be, able to skirt the 115, if not 130 different charges that they have for as long as they have. We're still waiting on a ruling on that. And let's be honest, a lot of us probably think that that's probably going to get washed under the table. It's going to be somehow, a slap on the wrist for these guys, and they're going to continue to, take us as a. I think I'm trying to think of the right words to use about getting this this episode flagged, but it's going to be a case where, they're going to say you're just going to have to accept it and keep it moving, basically, despite the fact that we all know of the circumstances. And this has nothing to do with me saying that yesterday City did not perform well. Um, and this has nothing to say that City shouldn't have won possibly yesterday. But what I am saying is that was some bull, you fill in the blank, yesterday, for the fact that even when we looked like we might have a leg to stand on, might have a foot to get up and be able to make a real push, you definitely have to recognize the fact of we need something to change. And what I'm asking for that change is not only for our team, but what I am saying is the PGMOL has to do something about this stuff. It has to. You got to have some semblance of belief that it is a equal playing field when you walk onto the pitch. The sheer fact that I know people now saying, you just have to understand that that's just the way it is. That's just the way referees are. So just go into the game knowing that you're going to be playing an uphill battle. That's ridiculous. All I'm asking for is a level playing field where I don't have to sit there and try to like take the words of the PGMOL saying one thing and then having to take one thing out of them and try to dissect what it is that they mean by it, and then have them a day, 2 days, whatever, how many ever hours later, retract that and give us an apology that they got it all wrong. Almost every referee I've seen has said that goal should have stood. Yet the PGMOL has the audacity to think that they can present it as different. And they put out some statement explaining why they made the decision, despite the fact that decision has been made the opposite way for multiple games before this. That is a real issue with credibility. And again, I understand we're not going to say it's all about this one goal, this and that, but that could have changed the direction of the game. And I think that's worth pointing out. We have Nalante with us. Nalante, I don't know if you're coming back from work or on your way to work, but you want to give in a quick or a segment of your mind of what you want to say about the VAR. And we're on the VAR decision. If you want, you can also include what was the worst part of our loss to you.
Where do I begin?
Yeah, I know.
Where do I begin? Listen, man, we'll be here till about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I know.
Get the popcorn ready. Big up the chat. Big up JK, my brother. As always.
Easy.
The man, the most with the host, 12th, the man with the flying Fran, and Lee, the man, the scouts lead, the inside info. Lee, as always, good to see you, Lee. Good to hear from you, buddy. What? I mean, I missed the parts. I've seen it. I just saw the last 5-10 minutes or because visiting my son. But what more can you say, boys? What more can we say? That was diabolical. That was the ghost. We gave up. We just and yeah, City are good. Don't get me wrong, but the only 3 players that can come off that field with a little bit of self-esteem is Mama, Bradley, and Sobo. They are the only 3 that can come off that field to say they put a shift in, regardless of not passing. And people like I heard people on big up the Irishman saying, "Oh, Doc will rinse Bradley," but no, Bradley gave as good as he got. He did win the ball a couple of times from Doku, and Doku had a great game. He's man of the match. But what is just alarming is just like Slot. Like halfway he changed the tactics, the formation in the game. What was all that about, Arne? But I guess we're the Arnie in people now. We just see football. We just put it real. Call a spade a spade. Like I said, it's not about any player. It's not about the manager. It's about Liverpool FC. If he has to go, he has to go. Now I'm at the point where if he goes tomorrow, it is what it is.
Simple as.
Regardless, you know what I mean, JK. Whether you're yellow, pink, your name is Rod Stewart, your name is like, Michael Douglas, your name is Tom Brady, whoever you are, you just Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, you gotta go. It just, that's the thing, and that's up to big up Red Armchair. That's up to FSG to decide. I don't think they'll do it, but it just can't go on. It's just like, I mean, if we're gonna lose the next couple of games, I mean, none of us. I think it's just it'll be time to change. But, and again, we're going Slot, and yes, he made great, but at the same time, people like, you can't please people. People saying, "Oh, don't play Cody, play the same team." He did. He played the same team. Played the winning team, didn't he?
He did.
We didn't play. I mean, he didn't change anything. Regards to that, certain players probably, let's be real, certain players didn't adjourn to his tactics. But I'm not going to sit here, and again, this is not the blame game. And yeah, Slot has, again, we're sitting here, and I said whatever happens, happens. But at the same time, these players are international, professional, top-level football players. Yes, a manager has to give them tactical instructions, but these are not babies. Bro, when I played semi-pro, I didn't, the manager gives you what to do, but if the man beats me or I'm sleeping, that's not on the manager, that's on me as a player. On the pitch, it's not rocket science. It is not freaking rocket science to play the pitch. Yes, the man can give you tactics, but you have to do your due diligence. You as a defender, you have to drop back. You don't lose your man. But you're sleeping, you let the goal. There's a shot going. Look at Nico Gonzalez's goal. Where was the closing down? VVD, he was awful. He was trash. He was honestly.
Ugly goal, wasn't it, to concede?
Yeah, Lee. And again, Slot doesn't help with his thing. Oh, but the long road, but this and that. Slot needs to just keep quiet now, because for a manager to say about, look, come on, long balls, come on, man. Come on, buddy. What are you doing? What are we doing here? What were you doing here? You're complaining about long balls. You've been in this league for a year. What are you doing, buddy? And what I'm going to say is say JK. And what I'm going to say is, and again, I'm not trying to be biased. And again, people think I'm biased, but it is what it is. But I don't know what Joey and Chiesa have to do to start again. What do they have to do? What do they have to do? Do they have to swim on the River Thames? Do they have to stand on the table and say, "I love Arne Slot"? Did they sing a song saying, "I love Arne, I love"? What do these brothers have to do to start a freaking game? Jeez,
Gomez ain't looking since Slot's been here, bro. You're not looking.
It's and even when they had a good game, nothing. And that's the thing that disappointed me about Slot. Other players he changes, but again, VVD, I get it, but the Mo, and again, Mo, and this is not today, Mo, because people jumping on Mo needs to be dropped. And you boys know this. I was saying it last season. Not dropped, but he needs to be rested. He doesn't need to play every game. He doesn't. People jumping about. He doesn't. This is a squad game, but I don't know why Slot is shook to take Mo off. Whoever's not playing well, and it's just I don't know. And
I think yesterday's game was that game, because when we seen City, they done us on their left-hand side, our right-hand side. And I think yesterday was a perfect sort of game where we could have over-flooded the midfield, where we could even play the Szoboszlai on the right instead of Mo, and put Chuckton Curtis Jones in that midfield, for example. Because we got done on our left-hand side. I think that was early on. We just seen it, the turn of the game. Mentality-wise, bro, I think 12 asked the question earlier on. You can ask Nalante as well, 12, about the psychological side of the game, bro. We beat Real Madrid, beat Villa with a strong mentality. We played yesterday like we've never played football before. How did that happen in them days? What we've been talking about at the training ground since the Madrid game. You think they'd be buzzing going into that City game with confidence, thinking, let's do these as well. And that's the problem that we've had all season. Away games, bro. We look so weak.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're. I get your points. I've heard. Again, I do have a little segment that will address that very question. But you're absolutely right. I don't understand. I've said it. I'll say it now. I'll say it clearly as anyone wants to hear. Look, if Joe Gomez, who I think is a phenomenal player, is a loyal servant to this team, and someone that I enjoy watching play, if he is unable to play games, to play for Liverpool, then we need to move Joey to a team that will at least allow for him to play.
28 years old, bro. 28 years old, and he ain't even getting a game for Liverpool. That's just mental.
That's just so crazy. If he's unable, I've heard. Oh, sorry, JK. I was just gonna say real quick. I've heard people say, "Oh, well, he's so injury prone, or he's too injury prone, or this or that. We can't risk not having him as a player for what? What are we waiting on?"
Yep. It's now or never for him, bro.
It's now or never.
Yeah, it's
and if anything, if you have a player like Joey, allow for him to play because he wants to play. He knows he can put out there. Like get him some rhythm. Now, I'm not saying just throw him out there one day and say, "Oh, well, we'll only evaluate." You only have one game to make an evaluation off of, and that's it. We've seen what we've done with Kirkez. We've seen what our coach has done with Konate. He's allowed for them to get back in the rhythm. Some can argue for McAllister. Give Joey a chance. The one thing, and again, I'm probably stepping on some upcoming segments by going into some of this stuff, but it's all good. We can rehash it when we get to it. But the one thing that I've noticed, and again, it's something that I've called out, and it's something that I've gotten pushed back by certain other content creators out there, or even people in the chat, or people that watch the show or connected to the show one way or another, and that is there has been a new trend that teams are forcing the ball to be given to anyone else on the team, automatic press. But if it's Konate, let him have at it. Let him try to do the diagonals. Let him try to be if you're going to work it from the back, let him be the person that works it from the back. Now, I've pointed out that point, and I'm told that, oh, no, Konate's a good passer. Konate's this, Konate's that. This isn't, and then again, this isn't me trying to pile it all on Konate's back and saying this is, I don't know if pause there or not, but like it's more of me just calling out the fact that if that is something that I've seen, if that is something now that teams are now starting to focus more on, our coach needs to figure out what it is to do with Konate to make him be better at avoiding that flaw, or maybe put Joey G, who does have the passing range, into the lineup. That's again, I don't have a coaching badge, I'm not saying this or that. I am happy to see that Football Manager 26 is out, but all the same, that's an unpaid for plug, but thank you, Trudon, if I needed to pause. But realistically, that should be something that is done, in my humble opinion. And that's why hearing and seeing what we do with the team, there's ways that we can possibly create some solutions. It's taken this manager a year and a half, almost a year and a half to finally trust Chiesa enough to play the player that a lot of us have been calling out for. It's taken 10 games for this coach to finally figure out that maybe we should implement Kirkez into the team rather than force feed him into the team and allow for Robbo to do the duty that he has done. It's the fact that we've seen
12th frozen for yous.
Yeah, 12's doing the statue movement. He's saying, "Hey, JK, I'm at the door. Let me in." But yeah, I think following from what 12's saying, yeah, I just think, yeah, we just, I mean, it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. It's just we're in a situation where it's just dire, and I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to say. I mean, and it's sad to say. Yeah,
yeah, all happened to us.
Yeah,
some people aren't coping too well. I mean, I'm pissed off, like, but I'm determined to keep a sense of perspective and balance, and not go all stupid over it, like. Because, like, as we've said anyway, I mean, it was available right now. And look,
there's hardly anyone.
Yeah, if we don't win the league, but, like, we can get our league season back on track, you know what I mean, for the second, third, but have a real good go at the Champions League, I'll be happy. I'll be happy enough, because we'll know it's a transitional season. And then, maybe we'll have a new man at the helm. I don't know, but, maybe they'll give Slot a chance to have this transition season, like, and then let him try again. I don't know. We really don't know what's going to happen, but I'm prepared to accept that. Like, I'm not giving up on the league, like, not with 8 points in it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It'd be a stretch for us to win it now. But stranger things have happened in football, in title races. Like, I've seen larger leads than this disappear.
No. 100%, Lee. But I just think it's done. Not because, like, you're right, Lee, spot on. Mathematically, we're still in there, but we're just not playing well. And the teams are just too ahead. Well, not too ahead, but Arsenal are just, City are going to go the winning one. We just lack the minerals, and it's sad to see. I mean, for me now, I mean, if Slot is staying till the end of the season, which I think he will, unless we have if we even get even worse, then they'll sack him. Really right to the bottom. But I think the minimum right now is just finishing in the top 4, winning a trophy. I think that's all it is now. Yeah.
Sorry about that. But the powers that be, maybe some of the people saw me taking out my slot frustrations right now, and they're like, pulled the plug on my internet or something. Sorry about that. So hopefully, can you hear me? I'm back. Hopefully.
Yeah, I can hear you. JK was doing the merry-go dance, waiting for you to.
Was he? All right. I was like in flow too. I was like,
yeah, man. Yeah, you had your hands up in the air, man. I heard you were knocking at JK's door, saying, "Come in, let me in." Or you trying to knock at Lee's door?
Yeah, I was trying to hang out with Smokey. Yeah. I just wanted the last point I wanted to make was that the one of the biggest frustrations again with this process is the fact that we get opportunities to see the answers to the actual, or see the remedies that could possibly create a real answer for our problems, or whatever you want to call it. And my point was, like, Frankfurt, we got a chance to see the 4-4-2. We got to see the 4-2-4, or whatever, which morphed into a 4-2-4 at least. And it worked. And then again, this next episode I have coming up, I guess, is I'm taking away some of the power of the next one. But let me emphasize this. There was some crazy stat out there showing the record since 2025, the number of losses we've had. And somehow, some way, we've lost more games in 2025 than Manchester United. Let me repeat that. We've lost more games in 2025. Now, albeit that means you take January to it's a collection of January, and we're only into obviously November, so we still have December to go. But in 2025 so far, last season, this season complete, we have lost more games than Manchester United.
Scary, that's a scary fact. That is, like, chastening to hear that, like. but it's where we're at. I didn't really get on board with that much. Like the second half of last season, you know, like moaning about that we weren't as good because it was just made up we won the league. But if you look at it, like, and you think of it now with hindsight, like, we were quite poor, weren't we? Like, from, I don't know, January, weren't we? Our best football was played before the New Year, wasn't it? Like, in Christmas or leading up to them.
Can I just, again, I don't want to take too much thunder away from the episode that I'm going to be bringing out, but can I say this? Like, as in, I know myself, I believe JK was in the same camp. I would assume Delonte was probably in the same camp too with this one. But I know I got a lot of pushback from some people that our form, even though we had wrapped up the league, was not an issue. Who cares? We won the league. Who cares? That was what I was told. It's not a mentality thing. It's not about, no, let's finish the year off right by getting some real rotation and maybe then and giving players some opportunity that are going to fight for something. If these other players are, quote unquote, already at the beach. No, it's okay. We won. I could care less. I could care less about our form at the end of the year. We've already won the league. That's why when I have these conversations with people, and we try to have an honest conversation. When they try to push it off as being, oh, well, you know, that's stupid, or this is that, or, you know, maybe you're too much of a football romantic, as sometimes they want to put. Let me state this. Tell me how you're feeling now. Because the mentality that you've created as something that you can orbit around in this team is exactly that. They think it's a light switch you can turn on and off when it takes to intensity sometimes. No, now you can turn it off because you don't need it. I can't stress this enough that mentality has to be always on, has to be not even on, has to be like taped on. Like the switch has to be taped.
The transition's gone much harder than what many of us anticipated. You could see right from the kickoff, like, even though we won our first 7, that it was taking time. I'm going to take a bit of time, but it's been a lot harder than I think what a lot of people would have thought. I think maybe you should have kept a few players like back, you know, the way Klopp used to do. Where Fabinho sat there for like 2.5, nearly 3 months before he got to get Andrew Robertson. Sat there for months before he played because he brought them in. This is the system, you know, and got to get used to the country as well.
Right.
Hugo's done well so far. Isaac isn't fit.
Let's be honest, Hugo's done well, but he's definitely cooled off a little bit.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Maybe we should have, you know, not brought Wharton straight away. We should have just carried on with last season's midfield, or as close to it as we could get, with McAllister not being fit. I just don't know. And same with Kirkaz. Maybe we should have just started Robertson this season, like, and kept him back until we felt he was ready, in the way Robertson was kept back when he first arrived.
But that's what I'm getting at, is that understanding isn't apparently being exercised. And that's where an issue is. I don't want to read that we've got an international break. I don't know about anyone. I don't know if do you call them TSAs in England? Is that what they're called? Your security that, like, you know, allows for people to get on planes or whatever, go through the metal detectors and all the other stuff, you know? What are they called?
I know what you mean. I know the guys you mean. When you go through the bloody metal detector and that, and they do all that. Right.
I don't know if anyone has a link to whoever does that role in England, but I'm going to tell you this: if you see Arne Slot's bags packed and him headed to Dubai, Do whatever you need to do to say, no, bro, you're not getting on this plane. You're not getting on this plane. You need to go back to the AXA and figure it all out. You are not going into Dubai to go put your feet in the sand and, you know, enjoy some rays. That cannot be it. That cannot be the move.
He's got a lot of work on his hands to get the season back on track, hasn't he? Like, you know, we're going to see what he's made of, really, like in a tough situation. I mean, we've already had a look at it so far, but it's going to be really hard for him when we get back. We really need to win that first game against Forest, whatever way we can, because if we don't,
we need a straight run of four wins in a row, something like that, to get us to some. Well, I mean, second at least. I mean,
we need more than that. We need
more than that. But no,
thankfully we get
like 10 games in a row. I don't understand why we can't go for. Why can't we match what Arsenal just did?
Because we're just not playing well. That's the problem. We're just not up to speed. We can technically we've got the best squad, but we just can't because we're just not with it. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Nearly everyone's off form by one or two. This is it. We struggle with Lombard. It just doesn't give you any confidence. Because if we win against Forest, you're just going to say, it's a win, but no one's going to believe the next game and the next game. And that's the problem.
You just know
it's only down to two. So right now, for me, it doesn't look like, personally, for me, right now, it doesn't look like he's going to last the season slot. The way things are going, it doesn't look like it. But again, I hope I'm proved. I hope that doesn't happen. But whoever the manager is, if things don't prove, then FSG will have to do what they have to do. That's it.
We know how Dice and Nuno like to play and what they'll have in store for us in them 2 games. We do get the PSV game in between. So we get 2 home games. If we could get 2 wins, Forest, anytime we win against Forest and then get a win against PSV, that could like boost us, like, you know, and get us back on track. It's the away form, innit? The away form's fucking woeful this season.
It's woeful. I remember me and Pops were going back and forth on this about like, I remember when he was like, the turf more, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's whatever. It's going there isn't difficult or whatever. Any pitch that is an away game has its own measure of difficulty behind it. It always does, because despite we have some of the best away supporters in the league. I noticed that. I'm not a part of the away supporters, obviously. Well, technically, I am an away supporter, technically, because I'm away. But I mean, like, as in traveling with the team supporters, we have some of the best in England, and they do their best to make it a lot less like hostile surroundings for our team and give them the support that they need to rise up. But any pitch in England is a difficult fixture to face. You don't believe me? Ask Arsenal, who just went to Sunderland, which is going to be a difficult game once you go to Sunderland. You don't believe me? You can ask City, who's seen the same by going on the road as well. I think the one unique thing about this year, especially, and this is why I do push back sometimes when I hear people say, the league is crap, or, we were just lucky because, you know, the league is so bad. I think the opposite. I think I would go as far as to say that I think our league is pretty exceptional. It's pretty exceptional in that there's teams that, despite the fact that, yes, I don't agree with their football styles or the way that they're going about playing their football with this, like, you know, long ball and set piece oriented style regiment towards their game and not really scoring in open play. That's a different conversation. But I would go as far as to say that I think that the one unique thing about the Premier League is that there are teams, your Bournemouths, your Brightons, your Sunderlands this year. There's teams out there that people would be like, they should be walked over. And those teams on that day can put up a fight, especially when they're at home. The extra support they get from their fans, they can put on a real contest against any team.
I've been really impressed with what Iraola's managed to do with his resources at Bournemouth. I mean, I don't know if it'd be too early for him, but I do like him, as a prospective next manager, but maybe in a bit longer. I don't know, because he'll go somewhere next summer. Someone will take him next summer, I think, at Iraola, a bigger club. That might not be in England, but he's a good manager. But I like what he's done. He had the way Bournemouth have become a decent team in the Prem. It's been good to watch. It's a small club and that, small club, small, place and that.
He's done exceptional. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good to see. To have somebody else in the just in the top at the top of the league.
No, he's been doing an exceptional job. Mm-hmm. The normal suspects of us, Chelsea, City, obviously, Arsenal, to lesser extent lately, Spurs and United. Sure, those teams you expect to make runs for the top four, make runs for maybe title contention. In Europe, is almost like a given foreclusion for those types of teams. But what I'm trying to say is that this league is better than people give it credit for, is because there are teams out there that are not pushovers. They are not pushovers.
It's the strongest league in Europe. Europe's strongest league, and has been for a while now. Even the small clubs can spend quite a lot of money, but I don't know what we'd do if we sacked him. I wouldn't be into a caretaker thing. I'd rather just keep him for that bit longer and then let him go.
That's the one thing I'm right with you. People are like slot out. I get that. And I can understand why people would have that suggestion, why people would have possibly those frustrations to lead them to, that conclusion. But there's only one person that I would be comfortable seeing take the reins, whether as a temporary caretaker, or if not, someone that we're going to move forward with at least for the next 3-4 years. And there's only one person that can fit that bill for me. And chances are he is not walking back through that door.
Lee Carson.
Who's that? Yeah, what'd you say?
I said Lee Carson.
He's in.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's there. He's already there.
Man like Carson, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the only guy I would trust with it, bro. Lee, get ready, bro. But I want to quickly say something, bro. Before that Forest game, Slot's going to be the manager of our Forest the next game, yeah? So we've got 2 weeks of listening to Liverpool fans shouting and moaning about Slot now.
Absolutely.
So it's up to us if we want to do the same,
No, and I get that. That's why I'm trying to get as much of it out right now as possible. But
well, as I've said, bro, I just don't understand how a team can bring us that Madrid display the other day, and then 5 days later or 4 days later pull out what we did yesterday. I just don't understand how we did that. I don't like, normally when I've played football and I've pulled out a display like that Madrid game, the next game is going to be the same, bro. And I don't understand how that.
It stemmed from the tactics, the fact that we weren't able to counter what they were doing with Haaland dropping onto Virgil, something simple as that, with the other things they were doing. We just had no answer to it, really. But things might have been very different if the equaliser was allowed. And they had some good luck and we had some shit decisions. We didn't deserve nothing, but look, we just got to get on with it now, haven't we? What else can we do?
Well, let's do this. Let's do this, Lee. Let's do this real quick then. I'm not going to give lengthy descriptions for their play. I'm not going to do anything like that. I might give like a sentence or two at max about these next about the players. Let's just give a quick players rating and performance breakdown, because I'm not here to scapegoat. I'm here to assess. Even though some are going to probably put me as scapegoating some players, but it's all good. I'm going to say penalty conceded, penalty saved, didn't collapse mentally. I thought he played decent. I know that I gave I know I said I was going to give a long soliloquy, but this is the one I will, and that is Marmardashvili. I did say that there were parts and points where, when we played Brentford, I missed Kelleher, but I missed Kelleher for exactly the reasons of what Marmardashvili did yesterday. And that is save a penalty against the team and keep us in the game. And that much I'll give him credit for. But I gave Marmardashvili a 6. What would you have given? Let's just go. We can go quickly around. What would you give him Marmardashvili yesterday? We can start Lee, then go to Latte, then go to JK as the orders.
I give him 7 because he saved the pen. And he didn't have much hope. He had no hope with the deflect. He had no hope with the goals, mate. And he saved the pen. I give him a 7. One of the better players, I suppose, that come out of it with like a smidgen of credit was Mama.
Okay. Nuante?
6 for me.
6. For you, JK?
Same as 6.
Okay. I saw this next player, courage and heart, despite the fact that people are possibly putting him in the scapegoat category. But isolated in a matchup that few fullbacks will survive. I thought he played decent, not great, to the level he did in Real. I gave Bradley a 6. What did you give Bradley, Lee?
6, yeah. 6 for Bradders. Tough afternoon for him.
Okay. What would you have given Bradley, Nilante?
Yeah, I'll give Bradley 6. I thought he's one of our better players, man. So yeah, 6 for me, man. I think he's the only one of 3 that could come off. But yeah, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well, bro.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna breathe before I get into this one, because this one is a concern. His timing was off. Decision making looked frantic. Looks caught between roles. I already spoke about his inconsistency or his lack of being a credible passer. Konate, I gave a 4. I gave a 4. That's a fail. That's below a failing grade for me. That's below an F. So, what would you have given him, Nilante? Or JK, you can go since Nilante's on you.
Yeah, I'll give him a 4 as well, bro. Not great.
Okay. Okay. Lee, what would you have given Konate?
5.
You gave him a 5. Okay.
Lucky to get that after that bloody pen palaver, which was all on him.
He's lucky to get a 4 from me. I was going to give him a 3, if not like a 2. But
bro, for the Madrid game, I would have gave him a 9 out of 10. For me, he played wow. Probably the best game for us.
Like the evil we know. Yeah.
And then he pulls out so he's the prime example of me saying, how did we pull a display against Madrid like that? And then what we did yesterday. So he's the prime example of that. From playing great than what he pulled out yesterday. I just don't understand the mindset around it.
Yeah, I would say that more. I would say that more to him than I would to
And
Bradley,
any other player.
who is hearing more of that conversation being directed at Bradley. Bradley's hearing a lot more. Yeah. At least in some of the forums I've been frequenting. All right, Nalante, what would you have given Konate?
1.
I knew you were going to be rough. I knew you were going to be rough.
Basement settings. 1.
He's lucky he got a 1.
Yeah.
No, I was definitely too generous. I said 5. That was ludicrous. I'll give him 4. You can have 4. 5 was too much.
Well done. He's going. We're getting the unbiased, obviously, Lee. All right. His counterpart in the team, our captain, scored the goal that should have stood. This is why I wanted to give him. I gave him possibly an extra point simply for that reason, because I think the goal should have stood. It makes a difference it would have possibly made a difference in the trajectory of our team in this game, but we'll never know because it was taken away. I know most of us were saying that's a captain's goal. That's a captain's goal. But he was unlucky on the deflection, left to lead a defense with cracks around him, and he was unable to stop the leaks. I gave VVD a 5. What would you have given him?
5 for me as well, bro. Yeah.
5 for JK. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 for me.
5. Okay. Nolante, I know this is gonna be rough. Get ready.
Yeah, all that talk, to Rudy, and then you that was one of his worst. Yeah, he was awful as well. When the second goal, like lackadaisical defending, yeah, I know the goal, but it didn't count. He was as bad as Konate. 1.
It should have counted, but yes.
It should have, but it didn't. But
it didn't. I get it didn't. Yeah. It should have. It should have counted.
But he was poor anyway. He was as bad as Konate.
He has no ability. He has no ability to get it to go one way or the other. But
Nante's numbers are exactly what I'm thinking as well, bro. I'm just letting Nante say it.
Right. Okay.
He's a nice guy. I told you I'm militant. I love it.
Yeah, bro. Wicked. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's I don't think that I hear someone's smoke alarm going off. Next player tried to stay compact, but looked hesitant at times. The offside call was harsh, but not obviously wasn't. I don't want to say harmful, but it wasn't. It was harsh because he did his best. He did what he needed to do, which was stay out of the goalkeeper's line of sight, and also he made an effort not to be involved in the play. He didn't make an active move to try to, do any of the reasons why it shouldn't have been called out, but all the same, was substituted off. Robbo, I gave a 5 as well. I gave Robbo a 5. Lee?
5, yeah.
Nolante?
1.
Brady was the better. Nah. Shut up for me. Take reason I mind. Now Robbo done a little bit. He was better than the centre backs, but I think Bradley was definitely better. I mean, he tried, but again, wasn't great. 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with 5, bro. Yeah.
5. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. From this player, we needed tempo. We needed control. We didn't get it yesterday, unfortunately. For a player that had resurged to possibly being at that world-class level that we need to see him. McAllister. I gave McAllister a 4. I gave him a 4.
Yeah.
I want to make Eagles rating a 3. Actually, I gave him. Now that I think, if I'm giving McAllister, because I don't think McAllister was as bad as Ibu was, so I'll give Ibu a 3, and I'll give McAllister a 4.
Yeah, he was the one guy I was looking to step up like he did in the last games, so since he's come back. I was thinking, yeah, we need him and Robertson to be them guys again, and they never really did it. So yeah, 4 or 5. Yeah.
Okay. You want to give a rating to Latte McAllister?
Can someone tell me where's Alexis McAllister gone? Where is he? Who is he? Can someone tell me that, please? I would love to know.
He was
Send me
that fellow who used to play for us, Delancey. Last season was really good, but I don't know what bloody else happened to him. Like, I haven't
exactly, Lee. Yeah,
just haven't seen him.
Honestly, but yeah, he was awful as well. He just what was it? How did he play 90? Yeah, 1.
Okay, it's the one show from the Latte. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, Lee. What was your grading for McAllister? Excuse me, for Macca.
3.
Okay, for 3. Wow. McAllister was worse than Ibu for you.
Yeah, that's weird. So Ibu comes down to 3 as well. Sorry, from 4. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the power to do that, haven't I? Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. You got power too.
3
All
is
right.
back to the midfield. So like 4.
All right.
I'm giving Kanate 1 then, bro. I'm giving Kanate 1.
Okay. All right.
I'm going back to it. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. This next player. He had moments of composure, but there wasn't enough intensity maybe in his game to really generate the gravy that we needed. But I'll give Gravy a 5. I think it is mine. Possibly is mine. But Lee, what would you give Gravy?
4. He can have the 4 that McAllister was going to have before he dropped down to 3. Yeah, 3 for McAllister and 4 for Gravy.
Okay. Nolante?
Yeah, I agree with Lee. He had little moments, but was just, the midfield was just, 4.
Okay. And JK?
Yeah, like normally I rewatch the games because we're going to talk about them. I haven't rewatched this one yet.
I did. Don't do it, JK.
There you go.
Don't do it.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Yeah. So what Nolante said, what was it? A 3, bro?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that then.
We can, yeah.
Hey, look at it this way. McAllister should be lucky. Feel lucky. He didn't get a 1.
Yeah.
So, all right. From Nolante. So.
Oh no, McAllister got his 1.
Oh, you gave McAllister a 1.
Yeah. 100%, man. Actually, you know what? No. Can I VVD McAllister 0?
Wow.
Oh, wow. I'm definitely watching it again.
All right. So what was the rating you wanted to give him? 3? Is that what it was, JK?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look, this player was arguably the only player that was really giving the effort that we want to see from our lads. He is the player that I called the most. He's the player preseason I called to be the most important player for our team this season. But long before the transfers and everything else that fell into place, obviously, Isak and all the players that we end up getting. This is before we had those players on our team, but it still resonated enough that this next player is important, and he shows that importance because he brings structure to our team. But he needs structure around him. He needs passing lanes. He didn't get it either in this game. I gave Sabasala a 5. 5. I'll stay with a 5. I'll stay with a 5. Yeah, I'll stay with a 5. I was going to give him a 6, but I'll give him a 5. No, I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6 because I gave Robbo a 5. He's better than Robbo in those kinds of that level. Lee, what would you have given Szoboszlai?
4 for him. 4 for him and Ryan, and 3 for Mark. Really shit midfield performance.
Okay. Nolante?
I'll probably disagree with you. Subbo's only outfield play. Him and Bradley, for me, were the only 2 outfield players that can come with their head held to hell high, fighting for every ball and trying to make things up. Yeah, Subbo, man, again, been standout player of the season by a mile, by a country mile. I felt sorry for him. Again, he tried. He's like he's running around for 2 other midfielders. It was a joke. You can't keep doing this. It's not fair on him. But yeah, I'll give him a 6.
It's not sustainable either. The one thing I'm worried about, not to interrupt. The one thing I am worried about is pushing Dom to the extent that he what happened to him that year, the last year of Klopp's year, which was, he ends up pulling up a hamstring injury or something like that, and then not being available, or us running him so much that we end up taking away his effectiveness later on in the latter portions of the years that we're going to be looking to
Exactly.
utilize him, because he's a player that we're about to, if it hasn't been done already. I know that there were talks that we're already working on the new contracts for both Gravenberch and Dami Szoboszlai. So
he should be getting a 400 grand a contract. You know what I mean? The amount of running he does. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking as well, bro. I don't want him to be battered for the Champions League, whatever, FA Cup. Hence why works in that Madrid game, put a shift in, so it helps Szoboszlai, We've got to work that out where we don't burn out Szoboszlai. So I'm giving him a 7. He's I agree with Nolante.
Got a 7 in the house.
Yeah.
Woo.
He's the only guy who tries, bro, all season. The only guy
Got
who
chills.
actually put.
7.
Remember at the end of last
Remember
season,
those? Remember giving out 7s? Wow, what are those things? What are those? What are those? All right.
He had a bad end to last season, and I was like, he needs to do more. And what a change round! What a change round of a player for Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, man. Respect.
Look, this next player, I know that some people have been immensely critical of this next player, for some valid reasons on certain occasions or certain circumstances, but you could see him trying a lot yesterday. Was isolated. There were times that he came up, I think, woefully short though. And I'm going to give Salah a 6. I'm going to give him a 6 too, by the way. I don't know if people said this when during the game, if they said this, because I didn't get a chance to watch the game with the guys here, or we didn't do a watch. I wasn't part of a watch along or anything like that. But I remember I saw Salah pick up the ball, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, he's just going to go over there and put it down for whoever's going to be taking, for Dom or whoever's going to be taking the corner. And then when the camera went back and he was still there, I was like, is Salah about to take a corner kick? Is this just like the player is just kind of like playing it by ear on their own? Is this maybe Salah taking like a leadership, a concept of saying like, look, obviously we're lacking here, but I'm going to do my part in trying to make sure that we have an opportunity to put our best foot forward. It was a little bit like, okay, I'm interested to see where this goes, because you can't, Mohamed Salah, especially with the form he's had, he cannot step up and give like a cross that doesn't make it to anyone, or is short, or maybe a cross that goes too long or something. It has to be on point. It has to be a phenomenal cross. And I will give Mohamed Salah this. That was an excellent, excellent corner. Unfortunately, it didn't stand, but still an excellent.
I think it was in his contract. Away at City, you can take the corners.
You can take that part of it? Yeah.
That was it. Let me see it. Look, bro, I think with Salah's display, he didn't help Bradley enough at all. Hence why we got battered on that side. So I'm giving him a 3.
Is Bernie in the chat, by the way?
Yeah,
that's what Bernie.
Lady B.
Yeah.
She's in there.
In the house. Lady
That's
B,
what Bernie.
pick up. I didn't see that. Thank you for the compliment too, by the way, Lady B. Thank you. And yeah, big up Bernie.
I agree with what Songs 4K says about he gave O'Reilly a free run. Simple as that. We made O'Reilly look like Roberto Carlos yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, we made a lot of those
we made that team a lot. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, like they were class acts, like they were, top.
The old City team. Yeah, the old City team. We gave them that vibe yesterday.
Nico Gonzalez, Nico, jeez.
Not scored all season.
Yeah.
Not scored all season. What do we do? Liverpool, we always give players who ain't scored all season their first goal for their new club. Simple.
Yep.
That's what we do.
Yep.
We
Look,
always give opposition goals, man.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And talking about goals, look, a striker cannot lead a line with no midfield connectivity. There was no midfield connectivity for this team yesterday. And that kid TK looked lost at times. He looked like he was a passenger. He didn't look like most teams I've come to grow up on. The striker is the focal point of your offense. Like, as in, it's all about feeding the striker. In this game, it's like with this team, often the case, it seems like fend for yourself, strikers. If you can get the ball, make your own dinner.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
And Eke TK, unfortunately, I'm going to give him a 5. It might be harsh, but Eke TK was unfortunately just not what we were expecting in this game. Nice. Lady B doing a little babysitting. Oh, nice. Hopefully she's not babysitting us. Hopefully that's not the case.
That's what we have to no swearing today. Anyone?
I gave him a 5. What would you have given EKTK, Lee?
I'll give him 5 too. I'll tell you why. He never had a chance in the game. Like we just weren't in the game in an attacking sense, like to any like mentionable degree, where we and he had no chance of getting anything. So it was like harder for him probably than anyone else on the pitch. There was nothing for him, was there? So on that basis, I'll give him a 5 because he's been our best new signing so far. He's been one of the the leading lights of the early season, getting a few goals, showing a bit of class at times. It was a poor night, but it had to be for him because there was no service. There was just nothing for him, was there really?
No, there really wasn't.
Worth mentioning.
Malante? Oh my goodness.
Have you done Mo?
Oh no, you're not gonna give him a 1, are you?
No, have you done Mo?
Oh no. Oh yeah, we just did Mo. I gave him a 6. What would you have given Salah? You can give Salah and then give your.
I gave him a 3, Nalante.
Yeah. What about you, Lee?
Mo, yeah, he can have a 3. He was poo.
Well, guess what, JK Lee? You raise your 3, I'll raise your 2.
Always going a bit long.
Oh, okay. I'm all in.
Yeah. And just to sum it up, the through on goal, which an on-fire move, Salah puts that away, and just unfortunately, just sums up the majority of his season. Unfortunately speaking, but too. And defensive, like you said, the Bradley thing, I get you can't do it all the time, but come on, it's just again, is that down to him? Is that down to the manager? Who knows? Who knows?
They needed a hand
But
yesterday to give Bradley a hand.
because Bradley could only do so much, and I thought Bradley tried.
He should have clocked on
Hugo,
earlier.
sorry, JK, go on. Were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say Salah should have clocked on earlier in the game that, you know what, is going to be one of them games today where I have to do the teamwork first half, give Bradley a hand, drop deep, and then second half, do what you got to do. That's what I would have got Slot to say that to Salah. I said, bro, don't cross that halfway line if you don't need to. Defend if we need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that comes with team play. And I think Salah did team play against Madrid. Yesterday he didn't.
Last but not least.
Oh, sorry, 12. I'll quickly give Hugo. I mean, it wasn't his fault, but he's anonymous. If I'm honest, he was like he's gone cold. Yeah, like I think JK or no, you said it 12. He's gone cold turkey. 3. I'll give him 3. We'll stick with 3.
3. Okay.
It's not worth doing, is it really? We've got work to do, but it's not worth doing the subs, is it?
I know. I'm not really going to mention much about the subs. I mean, because the subs really weren't. It was a weird way of getting the subs involved.
It's late, way late. Apart from one.
Like the way the subs were not only late, but they were. It was like, well, why are you substituting that player now? Considering that there's no real need for them to be in the game for what you would be looking to get from them. I mean, the sub Connor Bradley out for Gomez, Verts. Why you sub Verts out in the 83rd minute for Chiesa? That's like when the game's already 3-0. He subbed out McAllister for Curtis Jones. Early on, he subbed out Ekitike, who was our, obviously our lone striker, in for Cody, but then don't play Cody in the striker role. You play Verts in the 9 as a false 9. Milos Kerkez comes in for Robbo. I probably understand that you're most likely doing that simply so you can Kerkez doesn't end up like evading the space that that Verts was trying to occupy, but all the same. Verts, all right, so let's just rip this Band-Aid off. I thought Verts was in the wrong zone, thought he was playing the wrong role, and I think this is the wrong match for him to be played in that fashion. If you're going to bring in Verts, you play him as a 10, or you don't play, or you keep him on the bench. One or the other in this matchup, at least. This game called for a Cody to be a part of that left wing, in my opinion. That's why I said Cody should be on the left wing. I think this game was asking for it simply because what Verts brings and what Cody brings are two different things to the left wing. I just think that it would have been more under the lines of putting those players putting their back line more in risk of giving up a goal, because I don't think that their back. I think that let me see, their back line was Nunez would have had to go up against him, and I don't think that Nunez would have been able to contain Cody with his cut-ins and getting some shots off and the likes, and maybe we get a deflection or we get a rebound or something, or maybe we just get a flat-out goal from Cody. I think that would have happened yesterday if the opportunity had presented itself. I know some people are saying, well, he did have an opportunity and he missed it. Yes, I get that, but all the same, I just think that give the guy 60, 70 minutes to build and cook, it would have been a different story. That's just my opinion. So I gave Verts a 5. What'd you give Verts? Lee?
3. I'll give him a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nolante?
I'm torn about this. I'm really torn because
I was gonna say, I didn't know if you were gonna say. I didn't know if I need to ask you. Be like 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a 1 because he did hard and look, he created the chance for Cody, who should be burying that at the far post.
Yeah.
He should be burying that in his sleep. But it's difficult. He tried, but he said some stuff that he was pushed off the ball at times. But it's just not looking good, man. No goals, no assists, and just I mean, I guess the Madrid game is the only game he's had a real night in his performance. Now, and I know the circumstances, he's been rested or brought to the bench, so I'll take that in fact. But for 125 mil, it's very worrying. I am very worried. I am very, very worried. I'm starting to get a little bit worried now, but just a tough one. Yesterday's game, 5. I'll give him a 5.
Okay. JK?
Like for me, I agree with Helio's comment about getting bullied in the physical matches. He didn't start the Chelsea game, the United game, so he hasn't really started a lot of games.
Mhm.
He started the Madrid game, started this game, so the 2 biggest games of the season so far. Played probably his best game against Madrid for us.
Mhm.
So, like for me, I've always got patience with footballers. I think look at Sabozai now. When
That's
I
true.
won his biggest, even this year, bro, I won his biggest fan. But now look at him. He's for me the best player we've had all season.
Mhm.
So I've always got patience with footballers. Like when you're spending big money like that, sometimes they click straight away. Sometimes they don't. It's a slow burner. So I'm gonna give Wirtz a 4. But for me, I can't wait until he sort of starts. He's gonna get used to the physical side of it because what's gonna happen is when he gets shoulder bars, he's gonna think, "Oh, I need to toughen up here."
Hmm.
Hopefully, he'll learn that straight soon. I think the coaches need to talk to him about it because when you're a player like with his skill set, you're a delicate type of player. But he can get stuck in as well. I've seen him get stuck in for Germany by Leverkusen. He'll have 2 games now in international break. Hopefully, he can do something there and get that rhythm into the Premier League, bro. I think in Europe, we've got no worries about him. He's going to be a Champions League player for us this season, no doubt. But it's the Premier League that he needs to sort of get used to the pace of. You know what I mean, bro? That's all that is. I got no worries about words,
Okay.
Isaac, even Kirkes, bro. Kirkes came on yesterday. He couldn't get nothing right, bro.
No. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Watch it. I watched that part. Really, I was like, bro, he can't even pass right, and I feel so sorry for him because I know there's a tiger in him, and there's a player in him, and
All right.
I think it's got to do with the coach, bro. But football is a physical and a mental game, and I think Slot, he ain't like a Klopp. Klopp's the type of guy he will give you motivation just by smiling at you.
Don't say that too loud. Don't say that name too loud. You might trigger Rasta Crab or something.
I'll just give you a perfect example of positive energy and make players better than what they are sometimes. And only certain characters can do that. I think Slot needs to do that a bit more. Use his mental side of his brain to get players to be motivated for big games. Because what I seen yesterday, bro, that was like either God knows what they were talking about on that coach coming into the ground. You know, so that's worrying. That's the only thing worrying about me, how we deflated from such a top performance to that. And that's all about the manager's job to get that sorted, bro.
Look, this
Now,
is
actually, the
no.
players as well, of course.
This is no longer about individuals. I think it's about identity. For this team has to find a real identity for itself. I would go as far as to say about the Florian Wirtz concerns. I understand that the fact that he doesn't have goals or assists and the likes and da 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 da. However, I know that goals and assists are currency. I get that, and I'm not disputing that. But what I am saying is that the guy is creating chances. The guy is creating actual chances that should be converted. It's just that our conversion record with him is painfully poor. I would even go as far as to say that for Florian Wirtz, I've said it before. I'm going to stick with my statement now. Maybe double down on my statement here, be bold enough to say that Florian Wirtz was not brought in to win us the Premier League. Florian Wirtz was brought in to win us the Champions League. That's at least my opinion. Now, I understand. Don't take it as the point of me saying that Premier League isn't important. Don't take it to the point of me saying that he can't help us win or do this or do that, or he's not going to play a part or be contributing towards our Premier League campaigns. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that Florian Wirtz's game is more catered towards shining in the European stages, European levels of the game. I don't mean to make. I'm not trying to make you. I'm not trying to tire you out, Lee. I'm sorry, but
no, I'm always like that. I'm always people who's always stretching and that. I'm always stretchy, like.
I know some of my statements can make people go like that sometimes. That's why I'm just making sure. But all the same.
No, with you there. We did every bit of the way.
But we'll see. We'll see about Florian. Florian's got to put on. Florian's got to get into the weight room and definitely understand that the physicality of this league is different than the Bundesliga. But here's the twist. Now I'm going to bring up a twist, and that is Arsenal dropped points against Sunderland. That created a window of opportunity yesterday that we didn't take advantage of. One team was going to take advantage of it, and Manchester City was the team that stepped up at home. So respect due to them, but that door is still not closed, because if anything, the result at Sunderland for Arsenal should give some people a little sliver of hope to think that there are other games that we're going to see some of these other teams slip up on. The most important thing is, though, we've already had our slip-ups with these teams previously, the Brentfords and the likes. We cannot slip up on these teams at all, because that door is, I want to say, is not closed, but walking through that door depends entirely on us. I don't know. Let me see if I have the exact quote, but let's see if I have the exact quote. I think Danny Murphy made apparently a really, really good quote. I heard AGT and those guys and Doyle and them, and he had a guest on too talking about this, and that was that mathematically we are still in this race. Form-wise, I'm paraphrasing. Form-wise, we are out of it, and that's the problem. There's no bridge between those two, unfortunately, right now. Because yes, on paper, these games are winnable. We can't sit around waiting for Arsenal, City, Chelsea, even Spurs, golly, or anybody else to collapse. We cannot depend on other teams to save us. We must save ourselves. And yes, on paper, these are winnable. There are winnable fixtures coming up for us. Very, very winnable fixtures for us. And Arsenal, on the other hand, have some very difficult fixtures in front of them. But you and I both know there is no such thing as winnable if Liverpool don't raise their standards. And I'll talk context for you. Over the last 6 weeks, our fixtures have been brutal. Most of them have been away from Anfield, but we've even lost games at our home fortress. And emotionally, physically, psychologically, this team looks knackered. But now, 4 of the next 7 games are at Anfield. We need to make Anfield stand up and applaud. 2 of those opponents are currently in the bottom 3 of the league. We cannot find that as a better place for us to get some form and some confidence in some of these players that we're expecting goals from. This is the stretch where momentum is supposed to be built. There is no return of confidence unless we return confidence ourselves. There is got to be a situation where we settle on a system where roles become clear. It has to. But, and here's the key. The teams we are about to play are not going to come and trade blows with us, trade punches with us like City or Real Madrid did. They will sit in a low block. One of our kryptonites. You need to figure that out. They will compress the middle. They will counter long, sending long balls whenever they can. They'll hit set pieces. They'll disrupt our rhythm by allowing the ball to be played out on the side and then taking long periods to get the ball back into the flow of the game. All of this makes the game ugly. They will make the game as ugly as possible. They will make it have to have a bag on its head. And those are the exact match types we've struggled with the most under Arne Slot. Slot himself has admitted this. He said, we haven't found consistent solutions yet. Yo, I never want to hear our coach say that. Let me give you a point of PR advice. I never want to hear our coach say, we haven't found consistent solutions yet. This international break cannot just be relaxation and recovery. Again, I said it. If he is in Dubai and there's a chance that he might go to Dubai just to be like, do his Cartman, I do what I want segment, but he cannot be there at all. He's got to be in AXA working out a solution. This needs to be a light bulb period, whether the clarity comes from him or the players themselves or a combination of the two. I don't care. Just make it happen. Just make it happen. We need answers. We need structure. We need identity, because the truth is Liverpool's next 9 games will tell us about what this season is all about. And yes, there are some positives. So you can hear me say that there are some positives. Thomas Bosley, I said preseason he would be one of the pillars of this team. He was one of the few players trying to put his stamp on the match. That's leadership and effort, not in noise. And I appreciate the fact that there are those that are finally starting to recognize that Thomas Bosley does more than just run. Marmardashvili, listen, the stat sheet says conceded 3, but he made a massive penalty save against Holland and kept composure. He's growing into a true number 2, eventually one that could possibly be our number 1, which is good. He is settling. That matters. I'm happy for it. And yes, it looks like we will have Ali back after the break. So that's a positive. Liverpool still have a goalkeeper behind Ali that we can trust. That is, again, a positive. That's not nothing. But all of this is micro detail. I'm sure the macro truth of all of this is simple. This team needs to stop hoping their quality will show up and start imposing it. I heard something our coach said. Again, our coach is sometimes too plainly honest, but he was talking about if we get a world-class performance out of McAllister, we win this game. We cannot rest our efforts or we cannot rest our ability to win on players having world-class efforts. We shouldn't have to do that. Just go out and play your game. I'm going to ask the panel this. What matters more in this next run? Is it for you a tactical adjustment, or is it an emotional response? What is more important to you, Lee?
Tactical.
Okay.
That we sort our tactics out, because it was just so easy for City. It looked like that game It was so easy for Guardiola to outsmart him there. That's gotta be sorted, and then everything else falls in line. I mean, them looking lethargic and sluggish came from the fact that the tactics weren't getting us anywhere. No wonder the players looked disinterested. We weren't in the game, and that's got to change. So it's on Arne. He's got 11 days after tomorrow, I think, until the Forest game. And in those 11 days, he better come up with something good so we can have the points and get back to winning. Then hopefully we can get a win against PSV, which shouldn't be too hard at Anfield. I know we're playing shit and all that, but we did, do you know what I mean? If we can get 2 wins on the spin, the thing, again, as always, is then going away from home because, we won at Newcastle, but, that was it. This season, we've been lamentable away from home, lamentably piss poor, and we need that sorting as well. West Ham's a ground where we do well usually, but, it's Nuno now, and he's got them he got them that point of Goodison, which made me laugh. And then, he got a week of win, didn't he, the other day? Who did he beat? Was it fucking Leeds? Did he beat Leeds?
Yeah.
So he's turning it round slowly.
Yes.
Potter was shite, wasn't he? Lopetegui was even shiter. Nuno should be significantly better than both of them for West Ham, I would imagine. But yeah, it's going to be difficult to then, even if we get the 2 wins when we come back, Forest followed by PSV, it's just translating that onto an away pitch then, which we haven't been able to do this season. We were lucky to get away with the win at Newcastle, really, in some respects, getting it late on, because they were all over us as well. Is it last season we went away to loads of places and were dead good? This season it hasn't happened whatsoever. That's got to change. And it's tactics. Tactics and application, the way the players go about it, but they've got to be told to go about things in the right way. It's got to be a tactic that's going to get them somewhere. And whatever was going on yesterday, I don't know, we were just outsmarted so easily, it seems.
Well, then I'll ask Nolante this. Do you trust this squad to respond with fight, or are we seeing signs of mental fragility in this team that just are unsurmountable? Maybe. Nolante? Pick up Fozzie. Big up Nigel. Good to see you, Nigel. It's been a hot minute. Hope that you're well. Hope that you're very well. Same for Fozzie. Big up to Alexander, too. I didn't get a chance to hello to him or Songs 4K.
Yeah, bless up Songs 4K as well.
Well, Nolante's, I don't know, something might be going on with Nolante's microphone, but because he's not on mute. So I'll ask you that question then, JK. Do you trust the squad to respond with fight, or are we seeing signs of mental fragility?
Exactly what I've been trying to say all the show about how can we go from that Madrid game to this game, and that's a sign of mental tiredness. I don't know what it is, bro. The displays are just 2 worlds apart. So what is it then? What makes a team? Look at these guys, bro. We've got world-class players in our team. We're not Burnley, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. The confidence. You would think against the Madrid game, you're coming to Man City Stadium full of confidence. We're going to do these. I didn't see it on the pitch.
I'm going to ask a question real quick. And tell me in the chat too, especially since we have decent numbers in the chat here for a quick minute. Tell me your answer for this. And I want to hear the panel's answer, obviously. Because I heard this assertion on another channel about the rest of the year, like what we're going to be looking to go for and everything else. And they're like, oh, I really want to go for the FA Cup. And our coach has already told us what he thinks of the domestic cups. He thinks of them as opportunities for us to look. He looks at them as opportunities to play the youth or get a pathway for the youth academy. I don't have a problem with getting youth academy players involved in the process, but it's not on their shoulders to get us those trophies. And considering what he did with the League Cup this year, which was basically write it off, like as and he wrote it off before we even really got involved, being that we were only 3 levels away from going to Wembley to handle a final for the competition. I remember the fact that he did the same thing for us when we had an FA Cup final last year. He played a squad that was heavily rotated and was really, really, really devoid of senior talent and of any real presence of interest, it seemed like, in us advancing in the FA Cup. Is it a priority to see senior players, despite the fact that we have the Champions League and obviously, we want to make a good showing at least in the Premier League, in case we don't win the Champions League, so at least we can at least go to Europe again. Is it a priority for us to have a serious squad for the FA Cup? Lee, do you have an answer for that one?
Yeah, I want some signings, and give the FA Cup a good go, as well as the Champions League. I haven't totally give up on the title yet, but more or less, we're hanging on by the slenderest of threads, for me anyway, personally. But I haven't given up just yet. A few more league games before that happens, if the results don't turn around. FA Cup and Champions League sounds good. 2 good trophies.
Yeah. For me, if Slot don't want loads of guys being moping and sad because they're not going to get no game time now because we're out the FA Cup, is to keep the car.
We're League Cup, we're out of the League Cup, not out of
the League Cup. But if we're out the FA Cup as well, what they got then, bro? These fringe players, nothing. 5 minutes at the end of a league or Champions League game, that's it, bro. So Slot has to keep Chiesa and all these type of fringe players happy by having that competition.
Delonte, you with us by any chance?
Hi, Dara.
Big up, Dara.
Hi, Dara, mate.
All right, what I'm asking is definitely what I'm asking of this coach, at least, is do me a favor. Take the FA Cup serious. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm sure he will. Sure he will. Be interesting what type of draw we get.
There's no sure about that. Because if that was the case, then when we went to Plymouth last year, we wouldn't have brought the squad that we did. You're telling me when you saw the team sheet for Plymouth, you're like, oh, yeah, in case something does go wrong with our first 11 that are out there, we have reserves on the bench that are going to be able to come off, that they're going to be able to be, included in the game and maybe save something for us in the FA Cup feature. Did you have that feeling? Because I know that I didn't. The same way I didn't what this League Cup fixture was. It reminded me of what we saw in this League Cup fixture, which was we had players that I'm over the moon, you're going to get an opportunity to play. But the reality of it is that you're going to need some semblance of senior leadership to really make a run against players that are grizzled and trusted and vetted opposition. Plymouth was not an easy place to play, was not an easy competition or not an easy ground to play at. And it was unfortunate the way that we lost that game, but I see a very sensible connection to his frame of thinking when it comes to the domestic cup. He said it out loud. This is a pathway for youth academy players to get opportunities. Fantastic. That does not mean stack your bench. No team, he made a reference of City. No team, City, Arsenal, none of those teams they had Saka. Arsenal had Saka on the bench. City had, I think, Foden on the bench. No team goes into these fixtures being like, okay, this is going to be everyone's opportunity to have a debut in a game, so you can all like put it in your journals. That's not what we're here for. He has to make the FA Cup one of our upgraded priorities if it needs to be on his list. But it needs to be a priority on our list. It has to be a priority, not a debut opportunity for youth academy players. He has to put emphasis on not only the stars being a part of it, but those fringe players that are on the border or whatever have to understand that they are going to be included in the fixture, but they have to make the most of their opportunity. They cannot be bystanders or passengers on this trip. They have to be active contributors. And that's something I'm unfortunately not, as I know you're saying, Lee, yes, surely do it. But I thought the same when it came to this League Cup game against Crystal Palace, which would have been a great opportunity for us to get over this bogey team at home. Our coach said no. We'll save that for another time.
Yeah. I think he don't take everything serious.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out.
You understand what you're saying.
You're feeling what I'm saying. So, hopefully, we see some resemblance of what I have to say about that. Let's see. We got smoked by Plymouth. I can't believe we got through. We didn't get through, unfortunately, against Plymouth. Lost that game. Rio and Neone were spectators on the pitch against Palace. Yep.
Yeah. I was expecting more from Neone.
Yep. I agree with that. Their League Cup minutes without. Wait, I can't read that. They lost their League Cup minutes without much of a struggle.
Yeah, because that's the only game time they're going to really get before the FA Cup. So they should have put a shift in.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yep.
But for me, should have had a few stars on the bench, Gapco, Salah, whatever. Just to have them there.
Always.
Should have just to keep everyone a bit confident. Oh, look, Salah's out. I better play good.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. You've got to make that a priority. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Look, we've gone 2 hours and 15 minutes. I know that I've got 2 streams running at the same time. So I'm gonna have to figure out how and what that means or how to circumvent that next time, so we don't have some people logging into one stream and not being a part of the other, I guess, or something. But
what is it called? Liverpool 13th, man.
Yeah, 13th. Yeah, exactly. Look, we felt hope this week, and today or yesterday, I should say, we felt pain. Maybe some of this was cathartic in that we're at least getting some of it out, getting out some of the anger, some of the frustrations, some of the anguish that we're feeling. But hope is not gone. I repeat, hope is not gone. It's bruised. It's shaken. I'm not saying it's not, but it's still here because you're still here. What we do going forward is going to be interesting because what happens next will define Arne Slot. The conversations we have are going to define who we are. Look, I know there's a lot of content creators out there that are Oh wow, just are definitely wigging out a little bit. They're going crazy. They're going over the top. And again, I'm not calling out names, but again, I will say to some of these content creators, if you want to balance, I know some of them. I've heard some people say, "Oh, well, maybe we need to have this kind of show, or maybe we need to have a conversation about slot in versus slot out people, or maybe we need to have a conversation of all these different concepts and different perspectives." Well, if you want to have that conversation, have a more balanced panel. This panel right here, the three people I have on this panel, all four of us do not hand stock and barrel, or however you say it. We don't believe we don't have the same opinions or viewpoints on everything. It's just in the echo chamber. I mean, Lante's dropping ones on people. Come on.
Well, there's some savage ratings there, and I was responsible for a few. Mate, because we were so badly shit in the net. I think the best ratings I gave was Bradley and Virgil. It was, yeah. But, no, Robbo got the same. Robbo, Bradley, and Virgil, I gave the same. The rest were all lower than them. Some of them were significantly lower. Did you deserve it?
Yeah, they deserve the ratings they got. Every one of us, I thought there's a reasoning you could put behind every rating that they got from all of us. But what I am trying to get across is that you want to have honest conversations, cool. Well, let's have these honest conversations. I'm not trying to get someone on a panel so I can cook them. I'm not trying to make it all simply. I mean, banter has its place, but if you want to have an honest conversation and you want to talk about real things, you want to acknowledge real stats or statistics or real points of matter or of context, then let's do that. I'm more than willing to go into those conversations, into those battles, because that's exactly what we're going to face coming the next 8-9 weeks, next month, 2 months, going up to the new year. We're going to have some real battlegrounds that we're going to have to take on. And this isn't about trying to take on. I'm not trying to take on a battle for, to be pro slot or anti slot. That's not what I'm trying to get across. But what I am trying to get across is that there are some real conversations that need to be had. There are some conversations that when we get into it and you start seeing different perspectives and certain different angles for conversations, maybe we can come out with better solutions. Maybe we can find solutions that we can all kind of like say, you know what, that sounds like a viable tact. And that's where it gets down to, because a lot of the channels that are out there that are talking about, oh, we'll have a panel, and I'm just sitting there, I'm looking at it, and it's like 4 angry men or 5 angry men. And it's like, okay, cool. We're all frustrated. We're all angry. We're all disappointed. But let's get into some solutions. Let's bring in real conversations that either enlighten us on the panel, those in the chat. Let's get into some real conversations that bring out solutions for us and for our community. Maybe even for our coach, possibly. He listens to Talk Sport. He listens to, all those. He listens to some of these different channels out there. Maybe he listens to our. Who knows? He needs to listen to Liverpool 12th Man show. But
he gets some good advice here, like
real good advice.
Direction, couldn't we, guys?
Yeah,
we could help him out. Mm-hmm.
But the key of what all this is to me is that if not today or yesterday, I should say, is the defining moment for this team and Arne and everyone else. If this result is not going to be the defining moment that we push on to higher expectations and higher rewards, we must figure out a response that is going to follow this letdown. We regroup, we reset, we go again. That's what Liverpool Reds do, at least the ones that I know. But we all the key word, there's one key word, and that is we do it together. Together. So let's have this conversation. Let's have these honest debates. Some things I'm going to say are going to be, on point, and then there's going to be other things that I might say that you might be like, oh, well, I have a contrasting view. Fantastic. Let's hear it. Let's hash it out. Let's work it out. But let's go and get there together. I'm going to let the panel say their parting words. What would you like to say? Let's begin with Lee. What would you like to say to the people?
Don't get too stressed out over it if you can help it. I know it's hard not to, but try and keep a sense of perspective, like when you're thinking about Arne and what he's done for us so far. Yes, we've dropped off and it looks bad at the moment, like, but I don't know who's coming in like straight away, and I don't want a caretaker manager either. I just don't want to see that. So for the foreseeable future, he'll be the manager, I hope, and we'll have to give him our support and hope that he's good enough to dance his way around this, like, this little bad spell and this bump in the road. Like, that's a good one. Bump in the road. He can dance his way down this bump in the road and then carry on up to wherever he's planning to take us. I know it wasn't long ago, like, when I was dead excited about the evolution of the team because of the players we bought, and I was like, this is going to be brilliant. I don't know what he's got in mind, but I reckon it's going to be devastating. And that ain't happened, like, and it is hard to take. But, we've took worse than this as Liverpool fans, God. You know what I mean? Even younger Liverpool fans here, it was on the channel, like, we've been through worse than this, haven't we? Like, much worse than this. And I think that in the long term, we will be okay, whatever happens. I think we've got enough good players. We just need to phase a couple out. And I think in the long term, we'll be good. And we'll be a threat still, like, for more league titles. This is what I'm hoping anyway.
Okay. Hope. It's a key word. Hope. How about for you, JK?
Yeah, big up to Eric in the chat as well. And thanks for the words JP's put in the message box. Football without respect is a joke, you know what I mean? I've seen enough shows in the last days. And I'm thinking, it's not my cup of tea. Slot as a manager is not my cup of tea, but he's going to be the manager in the Forest game. So I can moan about him for the next 2 weeks and wait for the Forest game for him to lose, because that's what fans are like sometimes. They'd rather the team lose if the manager gets pushed out. And for me, that's a joke. I'd rather he wins every game from now until the end of the season. Simple. It's as simple as that, bro, because we're not going to sack him before the Forest game. So
No.
At the end of the day, bro, there's a lot of football left. So hopefully Isaac, see, like Ekatike, 3 games in a week. Could have done with a fit Isaac yesterday, for example. So there's a lot of things there.
Yeah, that might be getting to another sensitive topic right there. So I don't even know why he was on the bench if he wasn't available.
Just to give him a bit of a boost, maybe. You know what I mean, bro? Be involved.
Okay. If you say so.
No. Oh, damn.
That's good.
No, bro, but he didn't play all the subs anyway. Like the ones you want to see. You know what I mean? So Isaac is one of them ones, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nolante, are you with us so you can give out at least your parting words? No, yes, no, yes, he's there. Okay, so let's hear it.
Yeah, like JK said, big up Eric, big up and the JP. That's listen, man, JP, we keep it real, we keep it true. You dig? We keep it true, keep it trilly willy, with the silly, with the dilly, with the filly, with the billy, and the silly, and the killy, and the lily. What the dilly?
Okay.
Keep it real over here, this side of the town. You dig? But all seriousness, look. It's difficult, man. the slot outers will be happy right now because it feels like it's on the brink. I don't know, man. We just got to take it game by game now. That's it.
That's it.
Every game is crucial now, and although he says the manager, and like I've said time and time again, yes, the manager is to blame for certain things, but these players are just as equally to blame. We cannot sit here and just say it's all Slot. That's just naive. You know what I mean? Like I said, football is not a difficult game. Football is not a difficult game. Players have to stand up, man. You're on the pitch, man. There's certain things you don't need a manager to tell you to tell you what to do. It's common sense. But whatever happens, Slot's head's going to be the first to roll. It will be. It will be. So let's hope this international break 3D people can wake up and smell the coffee and remember who they are and think about not just for themselves, these worldwide fans, this brilliant club, and after that for the fallen brethren. That's all I've got to say.
Okay. Well, we will, like I said, I have an episode that might be more of a just like a monologue episode, but I do have an episode that is going to require a panel tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll try to make it at an earlier hour so I can keep Lee involved and not stretching his way through it.
I know I'm always stretching away, like, but the camera's usually off, like, so you can't tell. But I
know. You're not good. I got you.
No, not tired at all. Like, it's just I stretch a lot. I do that stretching shit a lot. I don't know what it is, but
okay.
With me, I do that a lot.
Okay. But we will get back tomorrow. Thank you for those that joined us today. If you're watching this on the replay, big up to each and every one of you. Do leave us a comment or whatever you like to do. I don't know, keep your heads up, people. Keep your heads up because ultimately we are champions still. And more importantly, we're Reds. And that's what we're supposed to do. Keep your heads up high. So until tomorrow, definitely up the Reds. And also, people, always remember, you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. So we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.